How's it going, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Trailmakers Creations. In this episode, we're going to be starting off with a car that's got some cool doors. So we're just going to jump in. You can see here we got lots of engine parts in the front. We got some skulls lined up on the front there. We got our headlights. Got some wheel wells. Everything is sloped back. You got the big dragster wheels in the back there. We do have some thrusters in the back, but believe it or not, those thrusters don't make a lot of difference when it comes to the speed. I don't know if it's the design or what, but this car was started all around these. So butterfly doors that fold up, individually controlled. Tremendous amount of lighting on the inside on the roof there, you can see. This was a fun design to try and get these doors to try and fit down as smoothly over top so that you couldn't see that they actually opened up like that. So if we can jump in, E and Q, close our doors. And as you can see, they close down fairly snugly, nicely in place. And our WASD driving thing does not too bad for speed. But with them dragster tires in the back, not good on dirt at all. So, because those tires slide around so much, like see, even with the boost on, gets us up to maybe 170, 180. But we can do like 160 without the boost, so. Of course, got fire pots on there. And another thing to help with in the dirt, if you're going to use these wheels on the back, these big slicks, they've got almost zero traction on dirt. So we can see underneath here, we've got a couple of spiky wheels in the back to add some extra traction to these wheels in the back here that have no traction. So this is how I actually did it with those doors, is I have them set on pistons so that they actually close in, slide in, and that's where they're nice and snug, and then they rotate from there. So that way I could have pieces that were in line with it that it's not going to stick to, because there's nothing touching, and the piston will just bring it in, and then it can rotate in place where it's not actually connected to any of these connection points or any of the connection points on the bottom. So that's a great way to get around if you're trying to move a part that's next to another part and you don't want to stick it to that part. Put it on a piston and have that piston just naturally stay in its zero position where it's closed up, and then that way that part will move into place after you've already built on it, and then it won't be connected to the parts that it's next to. Jump back in. Whenever you spawn it in, you want to hit E and Q just to get the doors in their proper positions. Make sure they're closed. I have no idea what I'm going to call this thing. It's just a car with butterfly doors. So it does have a little bit of drift action. Oh, it doesn't like being in the air. Watch this. Oh, yeah. And, see, it's all about the rebuild, getting the doors to open, and then getting them to close so they sit snugly in place. Ooh. Oh, well, look at that. Just blew off the one side. Nice. Gotta love those new destruction physics. Good job, guys. Ah, but I still got wheels in the back. Let's take a look at our next build, shall we? So the next build we're going to be taking a look at, I call this a flip spider, because it's got 8 legs, which is why I consider it a spider, and it kind of looks kind of spidery when it moves. Now, it's fully automatic, and it's actually quite simple. All it is a indestructible seat, sensors, 4 sensors, one on either side, connected to sets of pistons that are one on either side as well, and then we just have suspension out here on the ends of these, again, so that our contact with the ground doesn't cause a bunch of sparks or broken parts, and a couple of loose hinges here with these little deuces on the end just to give it a little bit of extra balance left and right wise. Other than that, there's no stabilizers on it. All you got to do is give it basically a kickstart when it goes, and then it just goes on its own. Again, this was an experimental type build to see if I could get something to roll on its own just using the pistons and the sensors. So let's build this in and have a look, see how it functions. So as it sits on its own like this, you can see it doesn't really do much. You can see if we trigger these sensors, the one in the front here will actually make it bounce backwards. But to give it a kickstart, we just come in from behind it here and give it a push forward. Go. Once it starts rolling forward, it keeps itself going. So again, it was just a combination of getting the speed right on the pistons and the distance right on the sensors, so that once it starts flipping over, now probably won't go up this hill because it doesn't like to go uphill. It needs to keep itself rolling forward in order for it to work. Jump back. It won't go backwards, unfortunately. So we'll rebuild it in this way. Give it a kickstart. Go, go, go. Ooh, there it goes. There you go. So yeah, that was a fun experiment to try that. That's a fun thing to try and build. Or try and build like a bigger version of something like this that actually flips itself over and over and over and keeps itself stable. So that was fun. Now, as far as how to make this so that it would be able to go uphill or even work underwater without adding any engines of any kind. So it is fully bionic, so that is the Flip Spider. I'll put that up on the shop, or you can try and build one yourself. Oh, and there it goes. All done with the spider. And of course, it's got fire all over it. Alright, let's head out to the carrier, take a look at our final build of the video. So, many moons ago, I created a guitar that flew. Scrapman actually showed it in one of his videos, best build videos. So, while he was showing it, he was stating that it was pretty obvious that it should have been a Flying V guitar if it was going to be a flying guitar. And I tend to agree, I agree. But I wanted to try and make an actual, like a Stratocaster type guitar. So, I decided it's time for the Flying V. So here we have our guitar, the gitter. We got some tuning pegs up front here. You can see we got them fancy little teeth as tuning pegs. There's even a cannon up there. Those there is on servos, and there's the little, you see them little fins on there? That's how we steer when we're flying our guitar. And then we got a couple of cannons back here on this side, and on this side, and our stabilizing fins. And yes, it does use the little gimbals in there to fly, because we want to fly nice and straight and even. And there are some jets underneath. So let's jump on in. And this is how it, see how we got our control here. We use the whole neck to steer, and our tuning pegs is our turning. So we just hit the space bar. And we are flying. Rock and roll, man, rock and roll. Left shift gives us our triple cannons. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. We do have an aquatic seat, but we don't have any, and that's just for symmetry. We don't have any actual water propellers in there, so. But we can land it. It does fly very nice, very even. As you can see, our tuning pegs up front there actually work for steering pretty well. A lot of it is seat steering. And then just our lift with the bend in the neck. Bending in the neck. You can land the old guitar as well. Oh, and in the drink. So see, we could go in the water, but we don't have any propulsion in the water. And we don't swim like a fish. It's so good. Not so good. So yeah, that's pretty straightforward. You can see the thrusters are underneath there. And underneath the nose. And just those gimbals that pull it up that are connected to space as well. And that is it. Pretty simple, actually. Just uses the chrome pieces in the cosmetics tab for the strings. Again, there's only 4 strings, so it might look like a bass, but you can tell that it's obviously not a bass because I ain't got 6 strings to put on there. The neck would be super fat. So that is the Flying V. That will be up on the shop as well. If you're interested in getting yourself a guitar. Oh, that's not too... Whoa, 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 whoa. There we go. Cool. I think we're going to leave that one here, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy what you see here, check out some of this end content on the end screen. And we will see you guys in the next one. Ciao.